Now let's now move on to a recent poll around how Nigerians are looking at the country. Of course, we are 54. Nigeria was 54 yesterday, and Nigerians appreciate the unity of the nation even in the midst of security challenges. That's according to the recently conducted NOI poll on patriotism and nation building. The poll revealed that 90% see themselves first as being Nigerians, then as members of various Nigerian tribes. And joining me from Abuja to give us an update and to discuss the details of this recent surveys, Modie, the CEO of NOIPolls. Thank you so much, Oge, for joining us. I get the sense that some people will be surprised at some of the outcomes of this poll. They're just, I guess it's a bit surprising, the level of patriotism, given all that has happened, given Nigeria's history, given what we know about, the discussion around the North and the South, especially with respect to politics. So can you just talk us through, for you, the key takeaways from this poll?
Okay, I think, like you said, these results could be surprising, given that, of course, what you hear most times in the media is that there seems to be some kind of division. But, the important thing about public opinion polls is that it's really actually the voice of Nigerians you're hearing, not just typically the voice of one person. So I think that the takeaway for us here is that the Nigerian people see our unity as one of the greatest achievements the country has been able to have since democracy, or since 1960, aside democracy. And I think that's a huge takeaway, being that when we ask the question, what do you love most about the country, Nigeria, what came out first was the unity of the nation. And so if you're looking at these two different questions, unity of the nation as one of the most lovable attributes, and the fact that one of the greatest achievements we've had, aside democracy, is the unity of the nation, it keys to one thing, that Nigerians see Nigeria as one, and that we are united under one nation, rather than the divisiveness that people tend to preach for political gains or whatever. The second key one was that, of course, when we talked about what are the top issues that should be handled in the next year, security came up as the first issue, and that was like very high. It rose to 32% from 9% last year. And this is a poll that we do every year, and this is the third year. So, of course, security is a major concern. The second was corruption, and the third, job creation. I think those two, for me, are top-line key results that I think that a lot of people should pay attention to regards to this poll.
Some of the trends you highlighted there was very interesting, especially with respect to patriotism. And what do you think is changing? Why would you say Nigerians are, at least from your polls, are more patriotic than many people consider them to be?
Well, I think that the truth is that Nigeria is really the only country that we have. This is a country that, of course, we're blessed, because aside the unity of the nation, which people say they love about Nigeria, one of the things that they also talked about was that we're blessed with resources. Nigeria has very good people, very friendly people. So I think that most people know and that this is all that we have, the country, and typically we have to make the best of what we have. So I think, again, when we ask the questions to Nigeria, would you consider yourself first a Nigerian or a member of an ethnic tribe? 90%, and that's huge, 9 in 10 said, look, we think of ourselves first as Nigerians rather than an Igbo, Hausa, Yoruba. So I think that for us, it's not really changing. This is really the true picture of the Nigerian people, and that sort of moves us away from the mindset that we're divided along tribes.
All right. Well, it certainly sounds good to hear that, and something for some of the authorities to think about. Something else they must think about, of course, is one of the outcomes of this poll as well. The biggest concern for everyone right now, obviously, must be security. And can you just talk us through some of your findings in that space?
Okay, so we've done this for 3 years, and the first year, electricity, of course, was the first top issue that they felt the government or administration should handle. Last year, it was job creation, but this year it's been toppled by security, which went up to 32%. The second one was corruption and job creation. And I'll just tie that back to the governance polls that we do every month, which is that we sort of rate the performance of the president on the transformation agenda. And consistently, of course, on security, he's been rated 1 out of 5. Meaning that has remained a key burning issue for Nigerians, for that to be handled so that most Nigerians can feel safe about it. So it's no surprise, you know, that security topped the charts for us this year, because all along for 9 months, that rating on that particular agenda has been 1/5 for 9 months consistently. So it's no surprise to us, of course, that Nigerians thought security should be handled immediately.
We'll continue to follow these polls. Thank you very much for that. Modie, the CEO of NOIPolls, of course, talking us through very interesting views of Nigerians about how they feel about the country at 54.